What's up guys, quick update. I recorded this video on Sunday night and I plan to release it as usual, but I had some problem with my computer and my editing software, so I fixed everything today with a new computer. So I just wanted to still release this video because what I talked on this video is going to be relevant for next week weekly market forecast, so at least you can follow it on. But again, I just want to say I'm sorry for the late post. With that said, enjoy. The stock market is pumping, oil stocks are pumping, and even Bitcoin had a good week. But are we heading towards a new all-time high? This is the weekly market forecast, and in today's video, we're going to talk about what we can expect for the next couple of weeks coming up after the intro. What's up guys, this is JC and welcome to the Wealth Engineering channel. The more you pay attention to, the more aware you become. And in this channel, we pay attention to stocks and crypto to find the best place to grow your portfolio. If this is something that interests you, I want you to smash the like button, subscribe, and click the bell. The first Sunday of every month, we look at the markets and we do a monthly forecast. And every Sunday after that, we follow up on this prediction to see if we're on or off target. We had a lot of action on the stock and crypto market, especially the altcoin. You came here for the truth. Let's just dive deep into it. All right, guys, as usual, we're going to start with the S&P 500. So last week, we were talking about that bearish engulfing candle, and usually that is a precursor of a correction in the market, or it could be on a downtrend. But based on the candle that we have this week, we have to cancel this pattern right now. But I want you to pay attention to it because it doesn't mean this candle is entirely gone. It could mean that, hey, this is the first sign of many signs to come of a correction. All right. So we're going to keep, I'm still going to have a marker there just so that we can pay attention as we get more candles in the future. But I want you to keep in mind on that because often when the market is about to correction, there is more than one sign. And this sign right here is definitely one of them. So last week we had a candle close on the EMA 8 weeks, but it didn't go and touch the EMA 21 weeks. So the EMA 21 weeks is a bigger pattern, like it's a bigger correction as well, but we didn't do this. But when we look at the other indicators, we're still on track for that big divergence, the bearish divergence. We hasn't broken this line yet, despite the pump that we had this week. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it and see where, if we go and challenge this line again, maybe we're building resistance on this line until we break it. And once we break this, we're out of a 3-year pattern. All right. So this is a big move, but we have to keep an eye on it. And based on what we're seeing right now, it seems that the market is resilient. It does not want to crash. This is due to all the money that is being pumped on the market. And this week, we're going to have more news about the stimulus package. There might be a lot of $1 trillion released into the market. And once this is released, it's going to make its way in the stock market as well. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. I also wanted to bring your eyes on this, the US dollars. Remember the rule of thumb. Once the dollar goes up, it's bad for crypto, bad for gold. And once the dollar goes down, it's good for crypto, good for gold. The last couple weeks, we actually had great moves on the crypto market, and then gold was actually going down. Gold was actually following the fundamentals that we have set, but crypto, especially with those Elon tweets, it's been on a rampage and it's been going up a lot. What I wanted to bring your attention on is we're starting to have an upward trend, and you can see that the EMA on the weekly candles, you can see that the EMA 21 and EMA 8 both are starting to curve up. Now the next thing to watch out for is, do we get a cross where the green line is going to be above the red line? That's the next thing we're going to see. And if we see this, we can expect to see for next 2 to 3, even 4 weeks, rally up for the US dollar. And if that happens, then we have to watch for correction on the crypto market. This correction already started with the gold market as well, but we have to pay attention to that. So this is something to keep in mind, especially when you look at the RSI on a weekly. We've been low for a very long time. We can see that, maybe I can can see that we can start creating a double bottom. This is a reversal pattern, and you can see that it already starting to shoot up. So that could mean that we're actually starting upward trend where it might challenge this line here and then this line. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this and see how far does it go, but this is definitely interesting because that could dictate the next 4 to 8 weeks in the crypto and stock market. And if we have this going up, then we should be prepared for correction on the crypto market. So as usual, I always keep an eye on crude oil as well, energy stocks, and my favorite stocks is my favorite energy stocks is XOM, but you can also have penny stocks in display as well. So these energy stocks lately have been on a rampage. Look at that. Since November up until now, we've been on a consistent uptrend. Once we had that bullish cross, that golden cross on the EMA moving average, and now you can see that there's an uptrend and the gap is still getting higher, and the gap is still getting bigger between the green line and the red line. So that means we may see another move. However, we need to start getting prepared for a correction on the energy sector as well, because the RSI on the weekly chart is already close to the overbought area. This is why I have it on a red line, because this is a line that once the RSI starts to reach there, this is a red zone, kind of like get ready for impact, and we're almost there. So if you have been in a swing trading or investing and now you've been looking into energy stocks, well, start considering taking profit because we are close. Maybe you can wait with it and see how far does it go, but this is the time that you at least start paying closer attention to your moves. But this candle is very bullish. We had a continuation pattern for a while until we touch this line and it starts pumping again. So on a short term, maybe next week we might see another bullish term and maybe we're heading towards challenging this line right here. All right, or at the very least this line. I'll draw it right here for you guys. So maybe we're heading towards challenging this, and this is a very big resistance. This is crude oil futures. So this is a big news, big deal. And if we break this, then we could expect like for the next couple months, we're going to have very bullish action. But if we get rejected from this, and when we might have a significant reaction and correction, and that's going to bring all the stocks on the energy sector, crude oil sector down with it. Considering how close we are on the RSI, I can expect to see that we might reject this line, and if we do, then there's a correction to happen. Here is it for gold. There's not much action on gold. The only thing happening right now is we had a bearish cross on the EMA 21, so which this line right here are pushing the price down. We're still on that channel where the prices are stuck in between these two lines and they're bouncing here and here. So we can expect to see more downtrend for gold. I'm actually hoping for it to reach around here, and this is when I'm going to start buying on precious metal heavily for investing purpose. So this is what I'm waiting for. But based on what I see right now, we can expect to see more downtrend because that cross right here happens. However, the gap is not wide enough, so I need a bigger separation between the red and the green for me to become more confident about it going down. Because once the gap is when the gap is too close, it could also mean there's a fake out. It could change direction right away. Other things to watch for on gold: look at how close it is on this line right here. This is the 50 line, and gold has been trying to stay alive above this 50 line, but eventually it's starting to close on a weekly candles below the 50. So this is very important. If this continues to happen over a long period of time, then it might form a downtrend even more, and below 50 it's very bearish. So we have to watch out for that. All right, so this is the total. This chart that we're looking at right now is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. And there is something I want to show you guys. There is something very interesting brewing in the chart. And right now, if you look at the RSI is reaching 90 on the And this is on the weekly chart. So the altcoins right now are super overvalued. All right. On a daily chart, you can see that it's still above this red line, but you can see that there is a downtrend starting to form. Whereas on a weekly chart, it's still pumping. It's still going high. But what we can see also is it's starting to go straight. Maybe it's going to go straight for a while until it goes down again. But we have to start preparing ourselves to an eventual correction on the altcoin market. And the altcoin market, if the altcoin market is going down, it might push Bitcoin market up. But right now, when we look at the entire altcoin market, there's a lot of overbought scenario. This is the same chart, but including Bitcoin. When you factor this with Bitcoin, you can see that we're actually on a downtrend. It's not a trend yet, but it's at least not as close to its highest peak here, which is on the 90s. So Bitcoin was here, it corrected itself, captured some momentum, and then it's pumping up again. And I'm going to show you a reason why I believe it's going to do so. But this is something to keep in mind when you factor the entire crypto market as a whole. We're still on this. We spent a couple times above this red line. All right. Also, we're like playing with 90 and 80 on the RSI. These are very overvalued scenarios. You can see the MACD, the separation is very high, and the momentum has been high for a long time. Eventually, it has to start preparing itself. Now, even on the ADX, look at this. The ADX, the strength level is pumping. It has formed a new higher high, higher than this one right here. So these are very interesting, and the gap is very large, but we're starting to head downward on this green line, and maybe at some point we're gonna have to watch for the red line starting to go up. And if we see this with the curve on the strength line, then we can expect to see correction on the entire crypto market, including Bitcoin. But for now, what I see here is I see the overvalue for altcoin market, and crypto and Bitcoin has been in a correction, and since it has reached its all-time high around 40,000. So Bitcoin it's maybe getting ready for another pump. And the reason why I believe Bitcoin is getting ready for another short-term pump, it's for this chart right here. So this is the BTC dominance chart. When the candles goes down on this chart, it means the altcoins are pumping, and when this is going up, it means Bitcoin are pumping. All right. So a couple things interesting. We are looking at the daily candles right here. In the last couple of days, there has been a downtrend. You can see the bearish cross. You can see the price below the green line action. You can see a lot of momentum on the downside on the MACD. The red line on the ADX is above with picking up strength. All right. So everything has been bearish for Bitcoin, which means bullish for altcoins. Now, first, let's look at the RSI. The RSI has been very low, but it's close to its lowest point here. And remember, I have this line green. And the reason why I have it green is because once you start interacting with this line right here, this is when you start buying, because this is when you're going to start buying at its lowest point and when the lowest strength, and then you can ride it all the way up for you to collect some profit. So right now, when you're looking at Bitcoin compared to altcoins, this is a great time to start looking into loading up on your Bitcoin and taking profit from your altcoins and loading them into Bitcoins. And you can also see that cross right here. The red line is the bearish cross. The blue line is bullish. We are about to see a cross right here. Maybe by next week, we'll see it. All right. So this is why I believe Bitcoin is getting ready for short-term push, for short-term pump that may lead it to its all-time high. Now, why do I say short-term? Well, it's because we have to put it on a weekly chart. Despite this, I showed you on the weekly chart, it's showing a cross right here. Now, look at that. Look at that cross right here. Right here. So this week, the action on Bitcoin alone compared to altcoin has created this bearish cross. And I want to show you this. when a cross like this happen on a weekly candles, it's a very big deal and it lasts a long time. It can last 3, 4, 5 weeks. The last time we had a bearish cross, that was in May 2020, and it lasted all the way to September. All right, and in September it started to pump again until it crossed bullish from November, October, all the way to December, where it reached its all-time high. All right, so this is something to keep in mind. So since we're doing the monthly forecast, we see this cross right here. This cross is, if it's confirmed, next couple days, we're going to see bearish actions for the Bitcoins. And remember, if this graph goes down, the altcoins are going up. All right. So this is something to keep in mind. However, if the entire crypto market goes down, you will also see this chart goes down. So this is also something to keep in mind. So that's what I'm saying. At least, the very least, start taking profit from your altcoins, because on the short term, when we put it on the daily, you can see that we're about to round up. And we're gonna rally again until we reach a new all-time high. But on the long term, get ready for a market correction, because we have been high for a very long time. And maybe by end of February, maybe by mid-March, we might go for a correction. And I wanted to show you this chart last. This is the Bitcoin chart. This week right here, we had a very bullish week. Look at this beautiful candle, bringing it all the way from 33,000 to 38,000. All right. And the other important thing that happened this week is we have closed the weekly candle above this line right here. So above this candle right here, we have closed our weekly candle above this. So that means we're heading towards another push. This is a classic bull flag. You can see it maybe easier here. It's pumped, corrected, and then pushed back up again. What I think is going to happen next week is I think we're going to at least challenge this green line right here. And that was the all-time high. Again, we're going to go challenge this line here. You can see even this week we went to challenge it and we rejected it. But the bulls are still here. So we're going to go and push and challenge this green line again. If we break this line, we're going to make a new all-time high. Considering how close we are, this is why I believe that we're actually going for another short-term bull run. If you're a long-time viewer of my channel, you have seen me doing this plenty of time, and every time I did it, there is something big happening. Now, I want to do it again. I'm going to draw a line from here to here. All right. And we're going to put this line, let's say, green. All right. So, and the reason why I'm drawing this line, it's assuming that the EMA 8-day average is continuing this pattern, it's going to push the price to a triangle, meaning the price are going to have to make a decision. Whenever we have a triangle, the price will fluctuate between the top and the bottom of the triangle until it breaks it and makes a decision. Usually around 75% of the triangle, we have our decision, whether it goes on the upside or downside, but eventually we get there. So it might take 1, 2, 3 days. The next 3 days, we're going to have a decision point. If we have a break above this line, we're going to go for a new all-time high. It could be 45,000. It could even be 50,000. But if we have a break and it goes on a downside, then we may have a correction on the entire crypto market. So this is something to keep in mind, but it's going to be very interesting to see. We're very close to a breakout, and it's going to happen early next week. The other scary thing that could happen is if we get another rejection, we're actually going to make a significant reversal pattern, which is a double top. We have a first top right here, and if we have a rejection on this, on the triangle right here, we're going to create another rejection here. So right now it's kind of indecisive, but if we have to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart and the cross that we have seen on the weekly candle, this is not looking good on the long term. I would say it's not looking good on the next couple of weeks, but on a short term, we might have a rally. So this, based on that, you decide how you want to play it. All right. Or the safest thing to do is to wait for that correction to happen and then you make your investment. So that would be the safest way to play it. Wait for the correction. Do we get a double top and a rejection, or do we get a breakout and then a new all-time high? And this is when you go all in. Now, the entire rally up and down, I'm going to buy cryptocurrencies and load up on my position. So this short-term swing approach doesn't really affect me, but I gotta tell you, I'm waiting for a big correction. We are due for a correction, and I'm waiting for it, because the lower Bitcoins goes, the lower the altcoin goes, and the lower I can buy more cryptos. So with that said, this is what I had ready for you this week. We're gonna keep an eye on the market and crypto as well. There's a lot of actions happening. It's a very exciting time. And hey, man, I'm crossing fingers. Let's hope we get a correction so that we can load up on more cryptos. Leave me a comment on the section to tell me which cryptos and altcoins that you're buying. Are you buying more Bitcoins? Are you buying more XRP? Are you buying more Doge following Elon Musk? Let me know on the comment section below, and then I'll be happy to respond to you. With that said, we'll talk on the next video.